Hello, everyone. My name is Sean Burns, and I'll be presenting the first half of our talk on exploring faculty agency in open education. My colleague, Mandi Goodsett, will take over for the second half, and she'll focus on our initial findings and the path forward. Next slide. To begin, we wanted to explore a simple question. Why do some faculty engage in open educational practices while others don't? These practices, or OEP, have clear benefits for both students and instructors, but various barriers still exist, for example, individual agency in various institutions. Our goal was to understand the role of faculty agency in overcoming these barriers. Next slide. Our study has two main objectives. First, we want to examine how faculty agency, essentially their ability to shape their own work environment and career, affects their decision to engage in OEP. Specifically, we focus on first-year writing programs in higher education. Second, we aim to identify ways that academic librarians can support faculty in these endeavors, given the challenges related to agency. Next slide. Our theoretical framework is based on the concept of faculty agency as developed by O'Meara and her colleagues. Faculty agency is the capacity of faculty members to influence their work, identities, and career paths. For this study, we examined agency at three levels: individual, organizational, and societal. Next slide. At the individual level, we look at how personal goals and interests drive faculty engagement in OEP. At the organizational level, we explore how collective faculty agency can impact institutional policies. And finally, at the societal level, we consider the broader influences like economic trends and political dynamics that shape academic norms and values. Next slide. Our target population for this study was first-year writing instructors. We chose this group for a few reasons: the disciplinary focus, the variety of faculty statuses, for example, tenured or non-tenured positions, and the prevalence of OEP adoption and composition programs. This allowed us to gather a wide range of perspectives across different institutions. Next slide. We employed purposive sampling, utilizing first-year writing listservs, personal contacts, and snowball sampling. In total, so far, we have conducted interviews with 13 participants. Next slide. We asked a variety of questions to understand the different dimensions of faculty agency. For example, we explored how personal identity factors such as gender or race play a role in faculty members' decisions to engage with OEP. We also looked at how institutional priorities and societal trends impact their engagement. Next slide. Additionally, we asked participants about the recognition they receive for their open education work and how that recognition, or lack thereof, impacts their motivation to participate in this. We also explored the societal factors that influence their decisions, such as the political environment. With that, I'll pass it over to Mandi, who will dive into our initial findings and discuss the patterns we observed across these different levels of agency.
Thanks, Sean. I had the good fortune to interview all of our participants so far. And so here's some of the findings that we found just in our initial exploration of the responses they gave. So the first thing we wanted to know is, what do these faculty who pursue open educational practices value, so that we could compare that against what they were able to do. And they value a lot of things that you might expect for faculty who care about open education: student wellness, saving students money, student academic performance, excellence in teaching, and flexibility and control. And I pulled out one quote from one of the participants who said, "It's hard teaching them these concepts, but it's to me like so much more exciting because this is something that they really start to see that they can use in other classes. So my teaching process changed in that I got really excited about it." So kind of reflecting that for this person, excellence in teaching was really important, and having a really meaningful, impactful teaching experience was of high value to her. We also looked at individual level impacts on whether faculty could do the things that they cared about. So we saw things like personality traits, social capital at their institution or in their department, their identity, like their race or gender, and faculty status were all very important. One participant said, "Honestly, I don't know what my olive tweed wearing colleagues would do. I swear I show up in departmental meetings and I'm a jean wearing peasant top person, and they're all like super formal." And I like this one because it kind of shows how for this person, their identity really clashed a lot with the culture of her department. But at the same time, she also was really her personality was really strong and forward and kind of overshadowed some of the barriers that she might have experienced if she wasn't such a forthcoming person. So when we look at institutional level impacts on faculty agency, we saw things like promotion and tenure or formal advancement, professional development access, workload, resources and support, and whether they were present or not, policies, leadership, openness to innovation and change, both for the individual we interviewed and for the people around them, and the presence or absence of a community or partnerships or collegiality. One person talking about their open education work said, "We got nothing for it, not a single penny. We just did it because it was important and we wanted to do it, and that's it." And I like that because it really shows how the institution was not really valuing the important work that they were doing, and they were kind of turning to their own personal values to pursue this work. And then at the societal level, we saw them mentioning things like the political environment at the state or the national level, the COVID-19 pandemic, artificial intelligence, the ability for more people to access the materials, and how identity-related norms impacted their ability to pursue this work. One person said, "I think that people who were already in the open education movement were more prepared in some senses to take on AI because they had already gone through that experience of examining their assessments and how they were thinking about education, and they didn't have to go through that piece of it again," kind of showing that actually doing open education work gave them more agency in other areas, like when it came to things like artificial intelligence and how to deal with that new trend. So my tentative takeaways and our initial takeaways together going through the data, we see that faculty who care about open educational practices are often interested in other creative, innovative teaching practices, and they think that excellence in teaching is really important, and they add a lot of value to their institutions by being creative and being willing to try new things, being flexible. Departments that provide professional development and support across all instructor statuses are often departments that have really strong OEP participation. So when they include adjuncts or part-time faculty, and they really have a culture of learning and care, that really makes a difference. Institutions that provide support for OEP via funding, library support, training, etc., are much more likely to have OEP participation, unsurprisingly. And then finally, faculty who are open to change and flexible, even thriving in times of uncertainty, like, being willing to try new things during the pandemic or adopt new technologies. There are often those who want to explore open educational practices as well. And like I said, they add a lot of value to their institutions. So our next steps, we are continuing to code our transcripts with QualCoder and identify concrete themes and takeaways. And we'd really like to submit our results to a journal by early next year. And I think there's a lot of potential to continue this line of research into the future. So hopefully we can do that as well. Thank you so much for listening, and please don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions. Here are our references, and we look forward to chatting more with you all.